Think about the greatest lie your parents ever told you. It was not about a tooth fairy. It was about your actual survival. From the moment you were a child, you were handed a specific script. Go to school, get a good job, and above all else, save your money. Save your money for a rainy day. Put your money in a savings account. Let it sit there. Let it grow. You were told that saving money is the ultimate sign of responsibility. You were told it is the only safe path to wealth. I am going to destroy that lie right now. You think the rising price of your groceries is an accident? You think the housing market is just naturally getting more expensive? You are wrong. The biggest lie you have ever been told is that inflation is a normal economic cycle. It is not. Inflation is a carefully planned mathematical attack on your future. Every time the cost of living goes up, it is not a coincidence. It is a deliberate, engineered transfer of wealth from your pocket to the people at the very top. They are weaponizing your own money against you. If you feel offended right now, click away. Go back to checking your savings account balance. Keep blaming the politicians or bad luck for why you cannot afford to live. But if you are ready to see the exact blueprint of how your future is being legally stolen, subscribe to this channel. We are going to expose the biggest engineered attack on the middle class. Let us look at your life right now. You are doing everything they told you to do. You work incredibly hard. You wake up early. You sit in traffic. You tolerate a boss who does not respect you. And when your paycheck finally arrives, what do? You act responsibly. You do not buy the expensive car. You do not go on the luxury vacation. You cut your expenses. You cancel your subscriptions. You take a portion of your hard-earned blood, sweat, and tears, and you deposit it into a savings account. You look at that balance growing slowly, month by month, and you feel a deep sense of pride. You think to yourself that you are doing the right thing. You are building a wall of security. You feel safe. But that safety is an absolute illusion. You are playing a financial game using a rulebook that was written in the 1980s. Back then, putting money in the bank actually gave you a return. The bank paid you for the privilege of holding your cash. But the rules of the game changed drastically, and the people at the top conveniently forgot to send you the new memo. You are fighting a modern war with ancient weapons, and you are bleeding out without even noticing the wound. Now, let me introduce you to the silent thief that lives inside your bank account. The system relies on a weapon that economists politely call inflation. But we are not going to use boring academic words. We are going to call it exactly what it is. It is a planned financial attack. Imagine you are holding a giant block of ice in your bare hands. That block of ice is your future, and the heat melting it is not a natural weather event. It is a furnace built by the central banks, and they are intentionally turning up the temperature. When you look at your bank app, the number on the screen might stay the exact same. If you have $10,000, the screen will still say $10,000 next year. But wealth is not measured by the number on the screen. Wealth is measured by what that number can actually buy. 5 years ago, $10,000 could buy a specific amount of groceries, a specific amount of gas, a specific amount of freedom. Today, that exact same $10,000 buys significantly less. Where did the rest of the value go? Did it just vanish into thin air? No. Value never vanishes. It is simply transferred. Every time the government prints more money to pay for its debts, they are diluting the power of the money you already saved. Imagine a pizza cut into 8 slices. If you suddenly cut that same pizza into 16 slices, you did not create more food. You just made every single slice smaller. They are constantly slicing the pizza. They are printing trillions of new dollars out of thin air. And every single time a new dollar enters the economy, the dollars sitting in your savings account lose a fraction of their power. You are exchanging the limited, irreplaceable hours of your life for a currency that they can print with the push of a button. Do you understand the tragedy of this transaction? You are trading your actual time, which is finite, for paper money, which is infinite. And by telling you to save that infinite paper, they ensure that your finite time is completely wasted. You are holding a melting ice cube, smiling, thinking you are building a glacier. Now, let me give you your third reward. I am going to show you exactly what happens to your money when you deposit it. You think the bank takes your hard-earned cash and locks it inside a giant steel vault to keep it safe. That is a fairy tale. The bank does not store your money. The bank sells your money. Let us walk through the exact mathematical transaction. You walk into the bank. You deposit $1,000 into your savings account. The bank smiles, thanks you for your responsibility, and promises to pay you half of 1% in interest for the entire year. You feel smart. You feel secure. But the second you walk out the door, the bank takes your $1,000 and gives it to the person next in line. Maybe it is your neighbor. Your neighbor wants to buy a new car. The bank lends your exact $1,000 to your neighbor, but they charge him 10% interest. Or maybe they lend it to someone who needs a credit card and they charge them 20% interest. The bank is generating massive, exponential profits using your capital. And what is your reward for providing the capital? You get half of 1%. The bank is a trillion-dollar casino, and you are the free capital provider. You are taking all the risk of inflation, and the bank is taking absolutely all of the profit. They desperately need you to be terrified of the economy. They need you to crave safety, because without your fear, without your desire to save, they would have no money to lend. You are the engine of their wealth. The entire banking system is built on the foundation of your financial ignorance. This brings us to the ultimate paradox of wealth. This is your fourth reward. This is the secret that separates the middle class from the ultra-wealthy. The middle class saves money. The rich do not save money. The rich borrow money. In a system where money is constantly losing value because of inflation, the absolute worst thing you can do is hold on to cash. So, what do the wealthy do? They take on debt. But they do not take on debt to buy televisions or luxury clothes. They take on debt to buy hard assets. They buy apartment buildings. They buy businesses. They buy land. Let me explain the magic of this system. A wealthy person borrows $1 million from the bank. Where did the bank get that $1 million? From the savings accounts of thousands of middle-class workers just like you. The wealthy person uses that borrowed money to buy an apartment building. Now remember the inflation we talked about? Remember the melting ice cube. Inflation causes the price of everything to go up. So, over the next 5 years, the value of that apartment building goes up. The rent goes up. The wealthy person's income goes up. But the debt? The debt stays the exact same. In fact, because the value of the dollar is dropping, that $1 million debt is actually becoming cheaper and easier to pay off. Inflation destroys the saver, but inflation rewards the debtor who owns assets. The wealthy are literally using your savings to buy assets that make them richer, while your savings melt away into nothing. You are financing their financial freedom while guaranteeing your own poverty. Zoom out for a second. Look at the macro structure of the entire world. This is not just about your local bank. This is about governments. Why do governments constantly print money? Why do they intentionally create inflation? Because governments have trillions of dollars in debt. If you owe $30 trillion, how do you make that debt easier to pay? You print more money. You dilute the value of the currency. As the value of the dollar drops, the government's massive debt becomes mathematically smaller. Inflation is not an accident. It is a planned, engineered attack. It is a hidden tax deployed to pay for the massive debts of the elite using your stolen purchasing power. The entire global economy is a weapon pointed directly at your bank account. They print the money, they devalue your life's work, and they force you to keep running on the treadmill just to survive. The system depends on your blindness to this attack. The illusion is now completely broken. The matrix is exposed. You cannot unsee the math. You are playing a game where the rules were written by the casino for the casino. So here is the final verdict. Log into your bank account today. Look at the number on the screen. Calculate how much purchasing power you lost this year just by leaving it sitting there in the dark. Face the reality of the math. I want you to leave the exact dollar amount of your invisible loss in the comments below. Stop saving your money. Start protecting it. Start buying your freedom.